Hey gang, Tim here at Core Electronics, and I have in my hands a beautiful 5.5-inch AMOLED screen, which is fully compatible with a Raspberry Pi single board computer, so let's set it up. The Waveshare 5.5-inch AMOLED display is a great choice for a user interface for your next Pi project. It's a 5-point capacitive touch display with toughened glass, and the included mounting hardware allows you to easily wall mount the device. You could easily utilize the setup as a weather guide, as seen in the intro, or as a smart control panel to manage your IoT devices. Control for lights, air conditioning, or watering systems all spring to mind, and the wider viewing angles that this AMOLED screen has over an LCD variant would be beneficial when taking a quick glance at the display as you pass by. One of the biggest issues when picking an always-on display is burn-in, so I'm going to show you how to set up your Raspberry Pi with screensavers so you can leave your Pi running all day. Now, the screen can be used in vertical or horizontal orientations. When used with a Raspberry Pi, you may notice screen tearing while playing HD video or retro games in the horizontal mode. But that's no problem for lower frame rate projects, like weather displays or user interfaces. On the table before me is everything you need to make this work. We have a Raspberry Pi palm-sized computer, in my case a Raspberry Pi 4 Model B. Naturally, you're also going to want the Waveshare 5.5-inch AMOLED screen, as well as the HDMI display connector, the USB touch connector, fasteners, and standoffs that all come with this screen. We also have a micro SD card flashed with Raspberry Pi OS, a power supply, mouse, and keyboard. You're also going to want a small screwdriver, like this one right here, to mount everything correctly. If you're using a Raspberry Pi 3, you're going to want to use these connectors instead. The natural next step is to get all the hardware connected up. Keep the screen protector on during assembly, or rest it on the foam that comes with the screen if you've already peeled it off. Place the screen down onto the table and screw in the smaller standoffs into the 4 central holes. Then take your Raspberry Pi and rest it over the top so that the holes line up like so. Next, screw down the Raspberry Pi using the supplied M2.5 screws. With the Raspberry Pi then secured to the 5.5-inch AMOLED screen, let's turn our attention to the electrical connections. Press these connectors in gently, taking care not to overstress either of the boards. The connections, when fully seated, look like they're not fully in, so do take care not to overdo it with too much force. Also, take the time to add the 4 extra long standoffs into the corner of the screen so that way you can rest the system skyward securely. We're now going to take our flashed SD card, which has our local network details, and we're going to insert it into our Raspberry Pi. Then plug in power to the system through the USB-C port. By default, this display will turn on in portrait mode. We can configure the display for landscape in the same way as if it were connected to a normal monitor. Using a mouse, we're going to click on the Raspberry Pi symbol at the top left of the screen. We're going to scroll down to Preferences and select Screen Configuration. Having done this, it's going to open up the Screen Layout Editor. From here, we're going to select the Configure option in the top-down menu, go down, hover over Screens, hover over HDMI, hover over Orientation, and then select your desired orientation. In my case here, I'm going to select Left. It will then ask you to reboot the system to lock in these changes. After selecting the reboot option or manually restarting the system, it's now going to turn back in the orientation you selected. Now, we're going to add some changes into the config.txt file so we can add some tweaks to get the best out of this screen. Open up the terminal by clicking on the black button on the top left of the screen. Once here, type and enter the following line to access the config.txt file. sudo nano /boot/config.txt. As soon as you enter the line, you're going to be able to edit this configuration file directly. Go to the bottom of this file using the arrow keys on your keyboard. Now, in the article for this tutorial, find the Configuring Screen and Touch section, and you're going to copy this chunk of settings. We are simply going to paste this chunk directly into the config.txt file via the terminal. Most of these lines are improvements to get the best out of the screen for this application. Having done this, press Ctrl X, Y, and then the Enter key to save these changes. We're then going to reboot our Raspberry Pi system to make these changes present. Now, if you try to touch the screen, you're going to notice that the touch activation isn't in the right spot. Touch needs to be rotated as well, as hardware is not aware of the software rotation of the screen. To do this, we open up the terminal again, making sure you're connected to the internet. Follow along with the written article, copying and pasting the 4 commands one by one into the terminal. If ever prompted with the "Do you want to continue" message, type Y and then press the Enter key to continue the process. Once that last line is entered, it's going to open up a new screen configuration menu for our display, which looks like this. We're going to navigate with the arrow keys down to this section here. This section input class is where we can change our settings for the touch screen. Underneath the Match is Touchscreen on, press Enter. Then we're going to copy and paste the following statement inside, which you can find on the article page. If you've only rotated your screen to the right, you're going to want to use this one. If you've rotated your screen 180 degrees, you're going to want to use this one. Paste the following right there and indent it just like the other ones. If another touch orientation is desired, add the appropriate statement for your case. You can find all of them in the written article. With that done, save the file like before by pressing Ctrl X, Y, and then Enter. Then reboot your Raspberry Pi. And with that last reset, you can now see our touchscreen is working perfectly, with multi-gesture control as well. Much like plasma screens of old, if you have the same image on the screen for too long, it's going to cause a burn-in. By default, Raspberry Pi will blank the screen, which prevents any burn-ins. This is great, but it can leave you without any positive feedback that the system is up and running. The most fun way to fix this, whilst showing off how beautiful this display is by installing XScreenSaver. To do this, type and enter into your terminal the following, and press Y if prompted, sudo apt install XScreenSaver. Having done this, you're going to be able to find a new option in the Preferences menu. This is accessible by clicking on the Raspberry Pi symbol on the top left of the screen and hovering down, and it's called Screensaver. Clicking on this is going to open up the screensaver settings. Many of these screensavers are really very pretty or just plain fun. And here is a great use case for this particular screen. I have this set up to provide me with the local weather, the date, and the time, all from live API data. Link down to a guide below showing you exactly how to set this up. Then it's going to revert to a screensaver mode after being inactive for 2 minutes and wake up whenever I give it a little tap. This screen would also be great as a user interface panel with buttons or slider controls that you can use to manage your devices and lights in a smart home. So I got so excited using this screen that I quickly whipped up a little case for it with some nice bezels and nice feet. This lets it be at a nicer angle for me for better viewing whilst keeping all the electronic parts safe. You're going to need some M2.5 screws to assemble this. Big shout out goes to MK Chung, as I based a lot of this case from his original design. And there you go, with our schmick Raspberry Pi with its beautiful AMOLED screen fully functioning, all safe in its 3D printed case. Until next time, stay cozy.